viel Licht scheint indirekt und fahl. Hinter Eingangstüren Weinrot aus Edelstahl. Ein Schuss Weinrot macht den Unterschied. In einer Welt aus Weiß und Anthrazit. Lass Hand in Hand uns um die Häuser ziehen. Vorbei an Wirklichkeit gewordenen Utopien, die aufmarschieren, stolz in Reih und Glied. Stilgerecht in Weiß und Anthrazit. Es lebt sich einfach, was immer auch geschieht. In einer Welt aus Weiß und Anthrazit. Und ehe man sich versieht, schließt sich der Teufelskreis. Und alles glänzt in Anthrazit und Weiß. Es ist die Zeit der Nuancen und Tendenzen, die Zeit der Freiheiten in scharf gezogenen Grenzen. Draußen herrscht Chaos und wer noch kann, der fliegt in einen Bunker aus Weiß und Anthrazit. Mit Chianti lässt die Zeit sich gut verschwenden. Beißt dir die Zähne aus, Tod an unseren Wänden. Weiß aufgekelkte Eiche, Milchglas und Granit. Die Zukunft schminkt sich Weiß und Anthrazit. Es lebt sich einfach, was immer auch geschieht. In einer Welt aus Weiß und Anthrazit. Und ehe man sich versieht, schließt sich der Teufelskreis. Und alles glänzt in Anthrazit und Weiß. Bleib stehen, bleib mit mir stehen. Ich will nicht mehr weiter. Bleib stehen, bleib mit mir stehen. Ich will nicht mehr weiter. Lass den Chancen ihren Lauf. Wir geben auf, wir geben auf. Lass den Chancen ihren Lauf. Stromlinien aufwärts. Bleib stehen, lass den Chancen bleib mit mir stehen. Ich will nicht mehr weiter. Wir geben auf, wir geben auf. Bleib stehen, lass den Chancen bleib mit mir stehen. Ich will nicht mehr weiter. In Glanz und Gloria, in Glanz und Gloria.
Good evening and welcome back to the Dwarven Fortress of Keskalokil, where I appear to have left things in the middle of a small mining operation, which I'm now slightly worried will penetrate the caverns if I don't pay adequate attention to it. Because we actually did this mining operation was primarily for the purposes of getting us some limestone for making steel with, or rather for connecting up various staircases to make it easy to get the steel up to the right place. I've forgotten the word, smelters. Though I'm now wondering whether actually this connects all the correct staircases, but we can help. We can do some more of that in a moment. But also gets us a bit more tetrahedrite, because obviously we keep needing tetrahedrite because we keep making billion jugs, which we then sell full of royal jelly to any passing trade caravan in order to get the royal jelly off our hands. Which is possibly not the most sensible thing to be doing. And we had gained agreements with a bunch of nearby territories that we would that they would send us tribute. So we technically have tributaries, though so far only one batch of tribute has arrived, which was from the elves, who sent us a single cage. So, we hope that this will get a bit better in due course. In particular, I'm still hoping for tame beak dogs from the goblins. Right, I'll pause this in a moment so that we can carefully do this in a way that doesn't accidentally penetrate the caverns. If we make that not auto mine, then we should mine that layer but no more. Then everything will be fine. We could also take that one square there. And I suppose we could, we could also go for that rock crystal while we're in the area. But then, yes, there's some actual limestone mining going on down here in the hope of we could safely mine that square as well, in the hope of getting more steel, because we appear to have run out of flux stone. And we have plenty of flux stone down here, we just need to dig it out a bit, because most of this layer appears to be flux stone. We can take, we don't actually need the petrified wood. Let's turn off the petrified wood, as it were. Quite happy to mine the tetrahedrite if I'm careful about it. I've now got our less good miners working on this, so it's all going a bit slowly. Yeah, it appears to be. Oh no, that was that petrified wood was connected up from that side, wasn't it? Yes. So it looks like we're not going to find any more surprise petrified wood, which is not really worth mining. That should give us a reasonable stock of limestone, though we will want to pay some attention to it to make sure that we don't randomly run out. Let's cancel these odd little bits of mining here because they're obviously not going to happen anytime soon. Like, we want to avoid mining damp chalk when we've got nice dry limestone down here we can get instead. Simon returns 4 minutes 30 behind, which is approximately the length of the song. Maybe not actually, because of course if he's only just arrived home, then anyway. Right, so yes, that's all going fine. I said in the stream title that we're close to our 10th anniversary because I think, oh no, we started in the year 101, didn't we? I think, not the year 100. So maybe it's going to be, we're going to have to stay unpaused quite a lot if we actually want to hit 10 years. Yeah, I've dealt with the, I've made sure that we're not digging, that we're not now going to penetrate that cavern by accident. There's another kaolinite cluster there for when we run out. But we've still got plenty of kaolinite available at the moment. That's like, there's some damp kaolinite here I can probably safely remove. So I essentially stopped when it became damp, but like we can afford to let some water into the mines. We have drainage. Like, we haven't yet filled the entire. I'm just remembering we do have this gold mine down here that that is set up to drain into the caverns quite low down, but we've still got 4Z levels clear, and I think it's possible that the that this water is all actually running off the edge of the map this way. We could tunnel out over here and attempt to confirm that. Well, I mean, possibly tunnel out from the level we stopped at last time. Higby says this is never 10 years old. The entire pandemic's only been 6 months. No. The obviously in real time the fortress is only about 6 months old, but in game time it's either 9 years or 10 years. I'm not quite sure which, because I think maybe we started in 101, not 100. I mean, it's an awfully long way to tunnel all the way over to there. I mean, I could staircase down to it instead, I suppose. I bet I have somewhere vertically above. Actually, that's the first place. No, even then, I don't actually go that far west for the most part. But like, this is only curiosity to know whether I'm actually draining off the edge of the map, which is probably not actually something worth paying attention to. Right, so everything is kind of dull at the moment. Possibly we need to construct some kind of stupid megastructure to pass the time. Someone suggested, I think, trying to build a Newton's cradle out of minecarts. Which, like, I'm not sure if it would turn out to be an accidental perpetual motion machine. Might do. Jacob says, because this fortress has been going 6 months. Oh, it's only less than 5. Yeah, I know roughly how long it's been. Actually, my obvious way to find out how long it's been going is to see how many songs I've used as intros. Where's the window that would tell me that? Then optimistically switches to a different display while leaving Dwarf Fortress unpaused. So we've only had 20 something weeks, yes. I think I've used 44 songs, so that's about 22 weeks. Yes. Well, we could gratuitously attempt to construct a perpetual motion machine out of minecarts. How would we do this? Right, so should we do it above ground or underground? It might be simpler to construct it underground if we can avoid the aquifers. But I think it would probably be more spectacular above ground. I mean, we could try building a complete roller coaster, of course, but... well, let's just try. Obviously, yes. And if you're going to construct a roller coaster, obviously you make it out of wood, because wooden roller coasters are obviously the most scary. Fun, yes. That's the proper Dwarf Fortress word for it. So. We have to build ramps, which means we need wooden walls and such, don't we? I don't think we can attach the roller coaster to the trees. And initially, I think I'll try making the Slaves to Armok, God of Blood, Chapter 3 Roller Coaster Tycoon, says Jacob. So let's start by building something fairly simple. I kind of want to try the let's start with building the Newton's Cradle, and then try to turn it into something more interesting. While we wait for our tribute. So let's build if we build a small run of horizontal track here, and then in the usual way cancel the ends of it, then let's build so I think now I have to build the ramp and then build track on the ramp. So I build a ramp there and there, and then a wall there and there. I think that's the first round of building things. Putting this fairly close to the trade depot because that's where the wood is. Yeah, lots of item inaccessible. I wonder what they were looking for. Recenter on the item. Oh right, are you trying to extract these objects, these things from the bottom of this river? Right, yes, we should forbid all of those so that you don't try. Yes, I appreciate we've lost a wheelbarrow in the river, in the drain. That's fine. Right. I think SGT's frame rate has dropped slightly. Right. Or something. No, hang on. That would, his frame rate would increase if he observes the world slowing down. Anyway, so yes, now dwarves are carrying bits of wood over to this to the beginnings of the roller coaster come perpetual motion machine. I think there might be a bit of a danger of trying to build a roller coaster that it will turn out that it is a perpetual motion machine, and therefore it's difficult for the dwarves to get off. So now we can, let's make it 2 stories high. So we're actually going to want another wall there, and a wall there, and then a ramp there, and a ramp there. Then we'll build some track in a moment. Let's build a staircase up one side. So that we can get up there with a sorry, the frame rate I was talking about was Dwarf Fortress's frame rate, i.e. the rate at which time passes, because Dwarf Fortress gradually slows down as things get more complicated. And there's like a comment somewhere that the reason why dwarves leave their bustling metropolis in order to set up a new fortress is because they discover that the frame rate's getting too slow. Right. So then we need an additional wall here, and one here, and then once that's set up, then we can overlay track on all of this, and then oops, once I've unpaused, things will happen faster. And then we can I think we'll try putting in a single minecart and seeing what happens. Let's clear up all those cancellations, and then we can see if they I think we just need that to be built. If someone remembers they want to do it. think someone has come along to build it. Pink Beast asks, does Dwarf Fortress show you what, as a Factorio player, I think of as UPS, like FPS, but we're measuring physics frames per second? Yes, that's what the FPS at the bottom is. I mean, it's also, I think, in this, at least when it's this low, graphics frames per second. But most of the hard work is in Dwarven pathfinding and not, well, either Dwarven pathfinding or temperature calculations, traditionally, and not the graphics. Am I allowed to build this out of wood? Because, like, it would be helpful if I could build it out of wood. Oh, yes. There's something there which suggested that maybe I might be able to build track just hanging in midair, which would be nice. There's some wood. There's some. So this will then, we can see the dwarves turning up with some wood. Right, all of those are perfect ordinary job cancellations and are not people trying to move items they can't get to. We still don't quite understand what's going on with the Hive products, lost or destroyed messages, but we'll put a bit of track on the end there, though that's actually unhelpful. So Steph asks, do the graphics show every single change in the visible world or merely some temporal fraction of them? I think for the most part they show everything, but the physics of minecarts are kind of weird. But I think minecarts do work per step, though they may, like, do some intermediate calculations on the difficult bits. I'm not sure. Right, so now let's try creating a route for minecarts that just has a single stop there with conditions push west. Don't try to ride it immediately, always. And then we'll assign it a minecart and see what happens. Yes, well, obviously, genuine text mode would be much faster, but sadly, my computer does not have that, and so, or at least is not using it, and so this is all SDL. SDL under X Wayland, I think. So presumably some dwarf is now bringing me a minecart. Oh yes, and I have a mug of tea. So, is anyone doing anything with that minecart? Slightly complicated because we have multiple minecarts. Our place track vehicle looks like the right job, doesn't it? SGT says, surely a modern GPU ought to be able to emulate text mode, letting the CPU update a trad VGA 2 bytes per character matrix and taking it from there. Yes, I suppose they probably can, can't they? Though I fear that is not what Dwarf Fortress is doing. I think the words texture atlas and such like turn out to be, or font atlas indeed, turn out to be important. What are you doing, my dear dwarf? Are you like going anywhere, or are you stuck because there's too much of a crowd? All right, you're carrying a minecart, which is why this is a bit slow, yes. Oh look, that door finally got installed. You're being delayed by the mere fact that your minecart is heavy, or you actually, you're having to go backwards. We do have a bit of a this corridor is too narrow problem. Actually, I don't think there's any reason why I shouldn't widen it to 3 squares. Like that lower strip wouldn't get tangled up with anything. Let's ask for some high priority, quickly widen this corridor. From there, well, not actually from there, but still that's a good start. From there all the way westwards. No, well, we don't have any rails here, so you have to carry it. I mean, I could have set up a route that involved hauling the minecart up here and giving it a shove, but that would have run down all of the people in the corridor, which would have been unwise. Yes, I'm still following a dwarf, slowly. He's going slowly enough that I was able to mark out an area for mining, which will indeed be mined by the time the dwarf with the minecart reaches the end of it. Probably. I mean, there's a bit more space now because we've got a 3 square wide corridor. Though I now worry that a 3 square wide corridor just gives more chance to have to think about route finding. You've struck citrine. Oh, that might be quite exciting. Where's that? Now I'm not following a dwarf. Yes, I am. Oh. Did we? Oh, we struck citrine up here. Right, sorry. I assumed we struck citrine somewhere distant and out of the way. Well, let's quickly mine this random gem that we found in the soil. Right, meanwhile, how's our minecart doing? All right, he's there fighting his way through the everything stockpile. He's now on the surface. Oops, wrong mode. I mean, we should really actually follow the minecart, shouldn't we? The minecart is full of water. We should possibly fix that, but not yet. So I'm now going. If we accelerate it enough, can we cause it to hurl the water out through the air? So yes, I think possibly part of the problem with this minecart and why it's a bit heavy is that it's full of water and mud.
Also, water is heavy.
Yes, that's why. So the minecart plus contents is rather heavy.
Yeah.
I didn't intend this to be a minecart full of water that we were testing on our that we were using to test the. Right. Okay, now will someone come and give it a shove? Whee! Right, so we have not made a perpetual motion machine, it looks like.
Good. You can break the laws of physics and gym.
So now let's reassign a different minecart to that route. And see what happens then. I mean, I think we should probably make some efforts at emptying this one, but in a bit. Stop it! Where are you going? Where are you going with my minecart? Give it back. Oh, you're trying to place that on the track, but I just removed it from that task. This will probably not work very well. Let's put it back. Put that back to the maple minecart. No. And then make sure we cancel the. Seb says, "Can you make a cat-proof track?" It's going to be pretty hard.
Making cat-proof anything is pretty.
Precisely. Right. So now that's going whee. Now we should reassign a different minecart onto that track, because at this point no one is going to. Have a task scheduled to pick this one up, I hope. And here comes someone with another minecart. They're moving a lot faster. Is that by any chance an empty minecart? Yes. So we may have a problem that the minecarts are different weights. Huh. That was kind of weird. And this minecart stopped and then the other one didn't go very far and didn't come back again. Maybe we should do something about that water laced with mud. We should be able to do that just by making a track stop and then putting the minecart on the track stop, shouldn't we? Seb says, does it only come back if it reaches the end? No, because we're just relying on gradients here. Justin suggests that maybe we can keep the cats out with some shallow water. Might work, don't know, probably not. I don't think in this version you can even have doors that cats can't open, which is surely a requirement. So let's try. I think we want to empty that minecart. I mean, probably ideally all the minecart, if we're trying to make a Newton's cradle, all the minecarts involved should be of the same wood as well, because woods have different densities. What are our stocks of minecarts looking like? So we've got 3 maple minecarts. Anything else we've got more than 3 of? I don't think so. Doesn't look to me like there's anything there that we've got more than 3 of. No, right. So let's go for maple minecarts, which would mean that we should... Well, we'll leave the sandpear one there just because I can't work out how to remove it right now. But yes, so we'll empty this maple minecart, which I can do by building an emptying track stop somewhere random. And then temporarily putting that minecart on that track stop. And then that will empty the minecart, and then we can remove the minecart from the track stop again. So rather than following this minecart, now let's just watch the bottom of the Newton's cradle. If someone's going to go up there and give it a shove. Looks like we're still making charcoal, which is weird. Or is it ash we're making? Maybe it's ash. Oh, that was someone fetching ash for making soap, yes. We might have enough soap now. Well, if no one's going to come and push that vehicle anyway, I'm going to reassign the maple minecart full of water onto a new route. So now someone should come along and A, push this minecart, and B, pick up that one and put it somewhere else. And if we're lucky, they will do this in a way that doesn't cause someone to get run down. The annual tribute from Stasost Ospog has arrived. What is it? What is it? Ah, incoming goblin. A goblin merchant has turned up carrying some what looks like, I mean, I don't know quite which, I presume the things that aren't forbidden are ours. So they brought some raw green glass, some kangaroo cheese, and some coaty leather armour. Well, that's not very good, really, but still, the goblins are actually turning up with stuff, which is nice. And yes, we do have cheese. Or, yes, possibly bouncy, I'm not sure. A vile force of darkness has also arrived. Okay, where's our vile force of darkness then? Does it turn out to be like two goblins who will turn tail and flee? It is apparently in this corner. Like last time we had a siege, the goblins just cleared off within a few minutes. So far, the vile force of darkness is not actually on the map. And it's cleared off again without even existing. Right, well, I think your goblin merchant is braver than your goblin soldiers. Oh dear, someone's been run down by a minecart. I mean, not seriously. At least I assume that's where it happened. Oh no, no. Somewhere else. What did you do? I mean, you found yourself skidding along the ground for some reason. Okay. Right, thank you, goblin merchant from wherever you're from. I feel that you were at least not taking the piss. Oops. Oh, there's some reports down here. I think these reports are in alphabetical order, which is really unhelpful. So, yes, the ones we sent out to try to pillage things did come back with a bunch of objects, including that anvil we saw, which was not really very impressive. And we have tribute from Tick of Verses, 1 raw green glass, 5 kangaroo cheese, and 1 coaty leather armour. Oh, Simon suggests maybe the vile force of darkness was the goblin merchant, and it was an incorrect message because a goblin had shown up. Maybe. I don't think it should be, but yes. Okay, I think the Tick of Boss Names has actually turned up with a halfway decent tribute, because it included cheese. Apparently there are some snatching type goblins here. Oh, but they're all the way down there. They've somehow managed to be spotted a long way away. Yes, there's one. There's a second one. There's a third one. Right, that's probably the correct number. It's not really somewhere where we need the aquatic squads, but they don't get much fun, so... But we did have earlier a vile force of darkness that vanished pretty swiftly. Turned out there was one military dwarf already on the surface. He's dizzy, presumably because he doesn't like having to be out in the sun. She's terrified while in conflict. But that's not going to stop her. Also quite slow. She seems to have stopped entirely. Let's see where the goblins have got to. There's one. It may take a little while for the dwarves to find the goblins.
On the heap of things next to the Shakespeare shelf.
Have the goblin snatchers all fled? Yes. While we're trying to kill the goblins, they're apparently no longer on the map. Okay. I mean, yes, it is sensible for especially the goblin thieves who turn up wearing next to nothing, or at least perfectly ordinary clothes, which is not much good if you're up against, as David puts it, heavily armoured axe maniacs. So what's going on with that? There. Why is that minecart not being put in the correct place? So we don't have a place track vehicle task for that minecart. Got one for... Well, we had one for that minecart. Oh, because we haven't actually assigned a minecart to it, Stoats. Right, yes. That will work a lot better if I do that. Justin says, all your current enemies seem feeble. Maybe it's time to provoke the people in the tower. We could do. Right. Someone has picked up the very heavy minecart full of water and is now hauling it to the place where it will be automatically emptied, I hope. Yay! Right. We have a puddle of water. It actually briefly filled this square to 2/7 high and then it spread out a bit. So let's just follow this minecart now that there's nothing else in the way. So that seems to slow down nicely. Let's switch to the maple minecart on the route. So we'll remove the minecart from that and then adjust Urist's cradle to use that minecart before this one comes to a complete stop. So now there's a task. That one, it is covered with water but not full of water. Sorry, coated with water but not full of water. I think the Dwarven language doesn't have plural markings, like many East Asian languages. Sorry, Pink Beast has suggested some quite strange tribute might come from the Necromancer's Tower, and that the dwarves can't count the cage that the elves brought. Which would explain why they're willing to tolerate the elves sending them a single cage. I mean, to be fair, I don't think the Dwarven language, the Dwarf Fortress languages really have morphology at all. But, like, yeah, that clearly just indicates they're speaking something like Chinese. Right, there is a task assigned to that minecart, just no one appears to be coming out here to do it. All right, here they come. So this minecart is rather less heavy than it used to be. Right, so now let's just watch what happens. There, that's kind of Newton's Cradle-ish. I mean, it's only 2 minecarts at the moment, but it works. Shall we try adding another minecart? We should. They don't get in. You don't ride a Newton's Cradle. That would be weird.
This isn't part of the log through. This is.
No, we will eventually, I think, possibly try to construct an actual roller coaster. A cat has taken the full force of an impact, but it wasn't caused by a minecart because they were somewhere down here when it happened. Okay. Right, so I think we attach another minecart to this and just test it with 3, because it's not a proper Newton's Cradle unless you've got at least 3 things involved. So we'll attach another. Have we got another maple minecart? Have I actually screwed this up because the maple minecarts are all in use? Yes, I have. Oh well. Another sandpearwood minecart then. And then cancel the task that involves moving the maple minecart. If we can. We can't. What a nuisance. Can I forbid and unforbid it in the traditional fashion? Yes. I mean, admittedly, there does still seem to be a task there, but it may not attach itself to the wrong minecart this time. Yes. So one question about the... Actually, no, the roller coaster will start, I think, being dwarf powered, as in the dwarves will just haul a minecart up to the top of a big slope. And then go whee down it. I mean, I wonder if we might get more tribute if we went for extorting it from bigger places. So is someone actually coming to shift that minecart yet? No. Come on. I don't know where the minecart I've asked for is. Big Beast mentions, especially if nobles can jump the queue and ride in the special cart, which is magma safe for no reason, my lord. I mean, you don't actually need it to be magma safe because, like, it's perfectly fine for it to be a single-use minecart. Someone going to do that job because it's getting boring waiting. Place track vehicle job, yes. Have you got the minecart yet? No. But that probably means the minecart's somewhere sensible. If we're lucky, it's not full of water. That's moving fast enough that it's not full of water. Right, just pause and unfollow the minecart. Right. Yes, that's a properly working Newton's cradle. Well, briefly anyway. And of course, because the triggering minecart stops for half of the cycle, that then causes there to be a job to pick up that minecart and take it away. And then that job gets cancelled because the minecart started moving again. Right, well, I think we've demonstrated the principle of Newton's cradles in minecarts. They do more or less work. I think it would work better with a bit more horizontal track, but that was more or less a success. Bingbee says, is there an edge case where the dwarf rushes onto the track to collect the cart at the point it is stationary? Well, obviously, yes. If we left this running long enough, that would happen. Right. So, if this is going to be a useful roller coaster, well, we need the start end of it to be a bit longer to give us a bit more run up, because obviously we want more speed if we're going to use the bit of track we've already built. So if we make it like a couple of stories higher, might be a little bit fiddly to build some of this. You may need like extra bits of scaffolding to make it easier to construct. And then we'll have it we'll remove that bit of track there. Maybe we should turn off Eurist's Cradle while we're doing this. That's that button. No, that's the wrong thing. That one, right. So meanwhile, we could try sending some people out to ask for tribute from the necromancers. Well, necromancer, probably singular. And see what happens. Like maybe the necromancer will be friendly. Should we send 30 dwarves to demand tribute from the necromancer? No, let's send 20, so we've still got 30 left here. Yeah, we'll try that and see what happens. I have no idea whether you can demand tribute from a necromancer. So I think I need a bit of extra floor here to make this buildable, which is fine. Zombie kangaroo cheese. Maybe, maybe. What's wrong with you? All right, you've just your arm has never really recovered from being broken, apparently. Oh no, your arm has never really recovered from the fact that you only have one hand. Yes, sorry, you're obviously always going to be marked as slightly unwell.
One hand.
Yes, yes, I've indeed given the said dwarf the nickname One Hand. What? No, that shouldn't be a wall. You stoat. Cancel. That should be a floor. The point of that was to allow us to build a wall on the square next to it. Should be perfectly fine to bring our rubbish piles to life because it's all under. Oh, hang on, they don't need to breathe. It's all underwater and down quite a deep pit. So if they can't climb, we'll be fine.
This is filling me full of confidence.
Right, so now we could. If we've got two walls there that take us up to that, then we would want another wall there. That we would then construct a ramp on top of, and a ramp there. And then I will run the track back round to somewhere down here so that the dwarves can then pick up the minecart, and then it will be a kind of minimal roller coaster. I think that should be constructible, yes. Oh, we need to remove that track, don't we? So then we can install that. I think I may actually be putting in too much material here. Then we're going to want a staircase that goes up a bit further. Possibly we should build like a floor there. And then can we just build a hanging upward staircase from there? Does it go up to there? No. Oh, well, I suppose the floor will need to be built first, won't it? Yes. And have a quick look and see whether anyone's got stuck in the trees, because I'm a bit worried by cancelling collect plants, no root. That sounds like someone's stuck in a tree. No one appears to be hungry in the trees yet. Right. Right, so we can then build a ramp there and a wall there. A staircase up there that goes about that high, yes. I'm running out of mundane wood, by which I mostly mean brown wood. I think I'm actually being quite wasteful in this construction. I can probably remove some of this wood afterwards, as it were. Like, we don't actually need all of this. We need that pillar to support that ramp, but we don't need any of those squares. So yes, I'm going to have to learn a bit how to construct roller coasters using not too much wood. So that's a functional ramp. So then we want to put a wall in there. And a ramp. I wonder if I could, no, I can't. Was wondering if I could get away with not. Building the floor, but of course I didn't build a floor anyway. But we'll have some more wood in a moment because we're dismantling lower parts of this structure now. Bits that I've decided I didn't need after all. I may need to understand the mechanics of how you support things. Right. Let's that one's being built, right. So now that, I think, is where our launch site will be. Let's see what we could safely remove. So I'm pretty confident that can't be required. Pretty confident. Let's see what happens if we remove it.
Sound of falling over steps.
Yes, well, it's possible we will have the sound of falling over roller coasters soon. And similarly, I think we can lose that. Then we can try to set up some track, and let's just shift two of those mine carts to the emptying place where they can just be left. So we'll keep the Masterwork Sandparewood mine cart for. Removing this bit of wood, that hasn't fallen over, good. Possibly we could remove this entire pillar and just cantilever the whole thing out on the tracks. Right, so now let's build a track from there to there, out of whatever logs we can lay our hands on. Ideally mundane ones, but then that track there we can cancel because there's already some track there. Right, so that's now installing the track on the descent. I'm pretty sure we should be able to remove that pillar as well. There's a gap above it here anyway. That will give us a bit more spare wood. Right. Oh, and we could remove that one. So the track on the descent bit is being built now. So then, are we lacking a ramp somewhere? I think, well, we're lacking a ramp there. Oops. Right. Now we can move another minecart to there. Yes, I'm afraid I'm going up and down an awful lot, which is quite entertaining for the video encoding. So that was the other one, wasn't it? Yes. So what am I waiting for now? I'm waiting for that ramp, which is now built. So now I should be able to go build a track from there. No, hang on. Oh, maybe I can actually. What happens if I say build a track from there? No, it just won't let me, right. Build a track from there. What? Must remove construction, but there's a ramp there already. Cannot find path. Well, partly because we're... Oh, right, maybe that will work. No, okay, that didn't work. Well, let's just... It's going to be a bit ropey, this one, for now, because there appears to be some track that I can't build, partly because, possibly because the track is already laid, which is a bit confusing. But let's just build some track that goes out to there, if we've got enough wood to do that. Why does typing log not allow me to select any logs? It's kind of inconvenient. I think we're going to have to start using the weird wood. I'm afraid I don't know much about unidiomatic Korean porridge. So yes, we have a bit of a problem here that this is going to be the wrong kind of track. I think I still need to learn... Oh, the cobalt tongs have returned. Well, that's probably good. So they toddled down to Vessel Platted and secured tribute. Okay. That's nice. Yes, well, we believe it's a necromancer. I mean, it's someone in a tower. It might strictly not be a necromancer. Right, so I think we've now constructed some minecart track. It starts up here and goes down and then up, and then there's a weird end of track which probably won't matter, and then down. and then it just ends, and the minecart will probably go whee across the desert and crash into that wall. All being well, it'll crash into that wall slowly enough that no one will be hurled into the river. Slightly worried about the assertion that it will crash into the wall slowly enough that no one will be hurled into the river. Let's just build, for safety, a wall a bit further back. So that, all being well, if the minecart does crash into that wall hard enough to hurl the dwarves out, they will then land on this side before they fall into the river. Sounds like a good plan to me. Right. Now let us create a new stop on, I think we're still going to call this minecart ride Urist's Cradle. No, that's not right. Oh, except that that's caused by the confusion of the routing system, isn't it? That is actually correct. Which should have conditions. Shall we immediately try riding it? No, let's do a test. Let's do an unoccupied test first. Just in case something goes wrong. We will follow the minecart. I'm sure at some point the minecart will be moved. There is a possibility the minecart will become airborne at the top of that hill, of course. That might be a bit fun. Who is working on this minecart? You can see the Cobalt Tongs and friends returning, as usual, carrying weird bits of their armour and possibly having left half of it behind. Aha! Someone has picked up the minecart, carries it up to the top, leaves it there. Whee! Whee! Trundle, 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 trundle. Crash. Crashed quite slowly. Right, well that kind of worked. Let's change the settings. Obviously we eventually need it to get back to more or less the start, but that's going to need building some more track. No, that's the wrong one. That one. Ride west immediately. It turns out that building wooden minecart tracks is somewhat expensive in wood. If we're going to do anything very big, we may have to cut down some trees, which would slightly annoy the elves, but don't think we get any kind of useful fruit from maple, do we? Here's the person who has been assigned to put the minecart back on its track. Obviously, first involves going out and fetching it from where it's landed up. Minecart is quite light. Soapy bath, someone has had a soapy bath, good. Bliss from a soapy bath. Whee! Oh, that was fatal. Well, that wasn't very good, was it? That's a dead dwarf. Right, so that's not a good minecart, not a good ride, because it turns out when it lands, or rather, you may have noticed it kind of took off at the top of the hill, and then I think my dwarf and minecart separated in midair, or possibly my dwarf landed underneath minecart, and yes, our dwarf, who was so happy about having just had a soapy bath, is now kind of a smear on the landscape. Right. Let's turn that off again then while we work out how to make it safer. So that suggests that if the minecart gets any air at all, we will be having a bad day. So that suggests that, like, we probably want each upwards thing to be about, well, we hope each upwards bit can be made safely 1 unit lower than the previous one, or something like that. I think we need to reduce the height of things a little initially to test this under slightly less exciting conditions, and meanwhile turn it off. Clonk. We apologise for accidentally killing you. We're going to have to make the thing safer. Notice how efficient our burial teams are, though. Okay, no, that was someone collecting their belongings. Not quite an efficient burial team. So we can see how much air they got by the fact that this is the upward ramp, and they were meant to descend there and actually appear to have landed there. I don't think they skidded along the landscape very much. And it was only a doctor, so it's not that much of a problem. SGT says, I suppose the soapy bath wasn't a contributing factor. No, I don't think it was. Have we got enough steel to make another steel mail shirt? Probably have. We've been doing pretty well at making steel lately. Yes, we've got plenty of steel. We could make like 6 steel mail shirts. But let's make 1. And maybe makes... Actually, we should check what the... armour situation in general is. So we are short at least some steel mail shirts, yes. We still have people in iron helms, and I think helms are the highest priority, really. Well, let's put that up to 3 steel mail shirts and 3 steel helms. There is an argument that we want to save making steel mail shirts until the king demands them, but right, so what are we going to do about this minecart situation? I think we need to get some more wood. So let's find some trees that probably don't produce useful fruit. Alder. Don't think that produces any useful fruit, does it? Obviously anything that... I think we can eat acorns. Anything that does produce useful fruit or nuts. We can save. Presume someone is actually going to... Have we run out of burial space again? Oh, possibly... Oh, there's at least one unnamed tomb there. That one appears not to have a tomb associated with it. We need more doors, but... Oh, these tombs appear to be not set to actually bury anyone in them. Yes, well, that would not work very well, would it? The tunnel is... it's not a very long tunnel, and like it's convenient, and catacombs are obviously a good plan. And eventually we'll reach the bottom edge of the map, and then we'll have to turn around and come back again. Right, I expect that message means that the cheese has now been properly cooked into something. Right, now someone's coming out to bury our unfortunate victim. Right, so... so that is 2 units high. So how about if we start with... a slightly simpler experiment. Of putting a minecart here. Well, let's go for something very simple, which absolutely should not kill anyone, he says, hopefully. Which is to move the start point to there, which means it will just be a descent, run off into the sand, well, clay loam, run into that siltstone block pillar, stop. Remove that route because it's confusing. Oh dear, though the sandpear wood minecart is now rather battered. So I think it is also important that the minecart should not crash to the ground from several things up. So you have people bringing 2 doors down into the catacombs and 1 dead dwarf. So see, those are all set to any dwarf can be put in this tomb, which is what we wanted. Justin says, I guess trees don't naturally fall to wind gusts or anything, do they? No, I don't think so. So we will have to fell them. Oh, do I actually have anyone assigned to felling trees? I might have turned them off. No, we have 2 people assigned to woodcutting duties. So I'm sure they'll get round to it in due course. Right, so let's hope the dwarves aren't too scared of riding this minecart again. You want picks, do you? It was 2, I think. Well, you're unhappy, at least somewhat. Is the minecart full of things again? seems to be being very slow to haul. No, it's empty. Someone's coming to cut down a tree. Good. That will give us a bit more wood. Oh, we don't have any safe way to get the minecart to the start of the track, of course. So maybe this will be safe. We don't really want it to cost us 1 dwarf each time we test this thing. It's going to be quite pricey if we do that. Could do with being cleaned, really. So SGT asks, so what Dwarf Fortress object makes the best crash test dummy? Are goblins cheaper? Ooh, we do have a spare goblin. I mean, I don't think we can put the goblin in there. We can actually have the goblin ride the minecart, but we could put the goblin in the minecart in a cage. Whee! Thud. Observe. No injuries. I mean, it's not much of a roller coaster because it just involves going down the hill. But that did not kill anyone. That's good. So now we could have a little. Well, let's try making a ramp up to the same Z level. No, that won't work, will it? Let's make a ramp up to 1 Z level less than the start, and then have a wall shortly after that, maybe, or maybe we just try having a ramp. We can be optimistic. And just build a 1 square wall here. Have we managed to fell that tree yet? Yes, it looks like it. We have a bunch of wood, all the logs, right. Steph points out roller coasters usually have a loop rather than a sudden deceleration event. Yes, but the sudden deceleration event is apparently not yet our problem. Before our problem was the sudden deceleration event of the minecart crashing down onto the ground rather than it being stopped horizontally because it had taken off at the top of the previous hill. I think all of our wood is currently spoken for in some way. I just had you cut down 2 entire trees. And we apparently can't find any logs. Oops. Have you been? Are people like hauling all of our logs downstairs or something? Oh right, we seem still to be constructing barrels. Are we that short of empty barrels? Apparently so. Oh well, let's mark more trees for cutting then. Don't think you can get anything edible. Well, you can get edible things from maples, but dwarves don't know how to do it. Willows are a bit tricky because they tend to drop everything in the in rivers or ponds or whatever. No, I don't want to fell oaks. Oaks give you acorns, which you can eat. Right, that will get us a few more logs, because I think a lot of this is getting turned into barrels. In order to store food and drink. In particular because we have essentially no break on our ability to make drink, which is doing all right. We seem to be stabilising at about 2,000 booze in stock. Largely by limiting the rate at which we can harvest fruit. Like, I think we're only allowing 1 or 2 dwarves to harvest fruit now. Oh no, we seem to have rather too many. Should we turn that down a bit further? Let's have only the legendary herbalists harvesting fruit. Oh, look, someone else is going to try to ride this thing. That's probably safe. Of course, there is a slight danger that we'll cut down a tree while someone's up it. Oh, someone is having a fey mood. And has claimed a metalsmith's forge. And seems to be going off and fetching materials. Good. Let's follow them while they pick things up. You're going to lug an enormously heavy piece of stone downstairs by any chance? Oh, maybe not. You've decided you need some beak dog bones, okay? I'll leave you to that. It'll take you a while to get back down there again. Whee! Thud. See, that seems to be quite safe. Sleep well, Chaljar. Whee! Thud. Hope someone's building this wall. Oh, it got suspended for some reason. Resume. Did the bit of wood get stolen? No, just someone was in the way at the wrong moment. And mysterious construction is underway. Wee thud. So we have we got any suitable logs yet? We have the pillar under construction. No. I mean, we could demolish that staircase because I think it is strictly unnecessary. You can walk up the track. That's got suspended again. Again, creature occupying site. How odd. Doesn't look like there's anything occupying the site. No, they will gain nothing at all from riding this except the satisfaction of a job well done, I expect. Like, we could then scatter nice statues all around it, which might help. Every attempt at finishing this wall leads to a cancellation because the site's occupied. This is weird. Let's watch it again. Meanwhile, someone's trying to ride the roller coaster. We don't seem to have got a message saying it couldn't be completed this time. But it is still suspended. Right, let's cancel that and try again. On a different square, just like in case that helps. At least I think that's a different square. Nope. Is there something about the fact that we have... Well, yes, mode 7 is going to look a lot like bedstead. Should be slightly wider than normal bedstead, to be fair. If you're doing it really properly. So why can I not complete that wall? It's confusing. Put it in a very different position. Let's also turn off people's... Oh, maybe it gets cancelled every time someone passes through it on a minecart. So we do need to turn off the minecart temporarily in order to stop that. Surely that's also always true. So I can just delete the condition, can't I? Then it won't go anywhere. Yes, I think my suspicion now is that actually building this wall gets cancelled. Someone decided they want that log already. Yes. Gets cancelled whenever a minecart passes through the square. Or something like that. Right, is anyone coming to chop down some more trees? Because we need some trees chopped down. Why are you in that state? Let's put you back into the normal state. Not that it'll make much difference. And I don't think there's much reason not to... maybe we do want not to assign too many people. But let's assign one more woodcutter. Well, that would be a dangerous place to build it if the minecart was still in operation. We're actually out of barrels at the moment. Yes, I did notice Bedstead moved up the queue a bit. No, you've still failed to build it. What is going on with this wall? Shorast Rithoth Furka surgeon has created a Tegaguz, a steel bucket. She offers it to the Treaty of Caves. A Tegaguz, the big leap. Well, that's kind of appropriate, isn't it? This is a steel bucket. All craft store ship is of the highest quality. It is encircled with bands of steel and beak dog bone. The handle is made from kaolinite. I'm not sure that's a good plan. The object menaces with spikes of porcelain. Right, well, currently, don't we have a well that's like got a really unexciting bucket in it? Which is a perfectly boring black cat bucket. I think we should demolish our well and reconstruct it with an artifact bucket. Still don't know what's going on with that wall though. Look, there is no creature occupying the site. The site contains a wall, or not yet a wall. Unpause, then something might happen. And then you've abandoned it again. No, there was never a creature there. I do not understand. I'm going to wait a bit until we've got some more trees cut down. And hence an adequate supply of wood. And then I'm going to ponder and maybe just build this new well with an artifact bucket in it instead. Maybe construct the roller coaster somewhere completely different. Do not drop the parts of the well down the well. That will be inconvenient. Well, let's just check up on our animals situation, because it's a while since we've checked that no one is going to breed. Well, other than birds, which we can't really stop, except by stealing all their eggs, which we do. Right, that looks fine. No one seems to ever adopt dogs in this place, do they? They get adopted by cats, but... We now have quite a lot of wood scattering the landscape. So let's try building a wall out of a different piece of wood. If it doesn't work here again, when built out of a different piece of wood, then I'm going to have another idea. Right, we've now demolished that. Someone's run away with the bricks. Where do you think a well is filed anyway? Is it a kind of furniture? Probably not, no. Machine? Yes. Right, so porcelain bricks, obviously. A tegtagoos. The best possible bucket. We've got a masterwork bill and chain available. That's probably as good as it gets. Oops. Well, the mechanisms... no, let's do this properly. The mechanisms I didn't select properly. Let's try that again. So porcelain bricks, tegagus, masterwork bill and chain. We've got some masterwork conglomerate mechanisms, some masterwork microcline mechanisms. We'll go for the masterwork microcline mechanisms. Right. Oh, someone gets a masterwork steel helm. That will be nice. So I think we've cut down all the trees that I've asked to be cut down. I think I'm going to carry on asking for trees to be cut down when they're alder or willow or maple, which I think we can't eat. So we'll also free up canopy space for trees that we can eat things from, which admittedly we're not short of, but... Right, that will give us plenty more wood. Where are you going? Are you trying to build this thing and have found a way into the fortress over here that I didn't know about? What did you just do? You appeared to carry some kind of bars over here. Oh, I think you went and... Oh, because the well's currently deconstructed, the bars you were carrying were soap. You came over here to wash yourself in this pool, which has left you content as a result of the of having a soapy bath, because the well is still under construction. Or under reconstruction. What does the king want me to make now? Chains, okay. We're making ash here, yes. In order to make yet more soap, even though we have adequate soap. All right, that's accidentally opened a hole in, admittedly, a ceiling that no one cares about. But it would probably be polite to fill in that hole. Because yes, if you remove the tree from over a thin ground, you can often end up. No, okay, that's still broken. Right, let's try building a wall somewhere completely different. Like if apparently we can't make this roller coaster work properly where it is in that location, let's like do something different. Let's build another wall here. Which, okay, it's not very different, but we're probably filling the river up with willow logs, aren't we? Yes. That's not very helpful. Though I am quite pleased with the fact that my dwarves are going to be wearing Masterwork steel helms. That should keep them fairly safe. I think a lot of these trees might be rather young. Justin says, creature occupying test site is not where what's his name, the roller coaster test pilot died, is it? I don't think so, because I've been like changing the location. It's all around the area where he died. But anyway, this pillar seems to have actually managed to get constructed. I think maybe it'll be too fast coming down here to take that corner safely. So maybe we can't do this thing this way, but we'll see. Right, the well is now operational again, made with Masterwork microcline mechanisms, Masterwork bill and chain, an artifact bucket and some porcelain bricks. It should mean that anyone who uses it is cheered greatly by the experience. So we should try to spot people using it and see if they're cheered. No, the well is perfectly safe. Like, I mean, wells can be dangerous in the presence of carp, but... Actually, I didn't mean to cancel the one at the top of the hill, did I? Well, we'll see how it goes. Actually, now that that's been dismantled... Feels slightly silly to me that we have grass around the well in the bathhouse. Like, surely that should all be tiled with porcelain. It's a bit tricky because did you see the well? Did you enjoy it? No. You seem to have had an interesting experience. She is frustrated. Dwelling upon experiencing trauma and mulling over the recurring memory allowed her to rethink her intellectual values. Not clear what the consequences of that were. Maybe we can look at her personality. Easily develops hatred towards things, but that was quite a while ago. I suppose, yes, she's dwelling on the trauma, so yes, the trauma may have been a while ago. Yes, sorry, I may not be speaking as much as I should. Right. Right, well, let's, in our bathhouse, at least construct here a patch of porcelain floor, and we might then try to tidy up the rest of it. So it might be a bit tricky because it'll all be full of okay, why is that one getting suspended? So so many masterpiece steel helms. This is pleasing. More picks. Okay, I think I may have accidentally ended up building slightly too many bill and chains. Let's cancel the remainder of those. Here comes someone building the first bit of tiled floor in the bathhouse. There is certainly an argument that we should also demolish the walls of the bathhouse and rebuild them in porcelain. And then the roof, maybe. Right. So now we have a little U-turn and a small hump of track on our roller coaster. So let's quickly try turning it on and seeing what happens. Right, should be fairly safe now. It's much less acceleration. Can you make porcelain hatch covers? Apparently not, no. I was just wondering what we should put in over that, if we should do something to make that staircase not be grass. One problem is we now have 3 push-track vehicle jobs, and I don't know which one will turn out to be the one that's correct. But someone is scheduled for all of them, each of them. Oh, there we go. Here is a fast-moving and not dead dwarf. Who was satisfied as a result of doing that. See, we now have like a slightly reasonable... Let's follow the minecart this time. No, that's not the minecart. Where's the minecart? Are you not hauling the minecart? Oh, there it is. Yes, hauled. The slightly battered because someone had an experience in it. Sandpaper wood minecart. Whee! Yes, and it goes up and down and doesn't kill anyone. Like, it's not much of a roller coaster yet, but it is less fatal than my first attempt. Right, let's make some adjustments to it so it's actually a loop, and so that the dwarves are expected to push the minecart back up the hill, because that feels right, rather than carrying it. So I think we want to remove that, the end of track there, and let's just go for a really simple approach. Remove the end of the bit of track there. Build a track stop there with maximum deceleration. And then we can add an additional rule that says when it arrives there, they should just guide it up the hill. Yes, there is still a danger it will run cats over, it's true. Oh, do we need to cancel that just so that we can build the track? That would be silly. What's going on there then? Is that correct? Has that been demolished already? No. Suspend that until the existing track there has been demolished. Right, now it has. Now we can request that track stop. I'm going to turn off the roller coaster while the new track's being built, because lots of people are going to be in the way. There is a lot of potential embarrassment here. Where by potential embarrassment I mean being run down by a minecart. I might remove that bit of goblin cap log track and replace it with one in a more conventionally coloured wood. But yeah, go on. Just because it's slightly annoying it being in the wrong colour. So what's our... Yeah, we've now got a scroll bar on the civilizations list. So who are... Is it the Orbs of Yore? No. That's us. Just going... We demanded tribute from the Copper Lances. All right, it does say they offer summer tribute. Okay. Well, we'll see what they turn up with. Okay, if that isn't going to get demolished very soon, I'll just actually stop. Now let's stop demolishing that. It may be annoying, but we'll wait until the next round of doing silly things. Right, so now we should be able to say add another stop there. And at that stop, guide west immediately, always. And then re-enable the first stop. Right, so now we should have like a sensible, if very simple, roller coaster with like 2 humps. Right, so and a and a return to the start, and then a dwarf simply pushes it back up the ramp to the top. Assuming any dwarf wants to do that. Right, meanwhile, we have successfully laid some reasonably nice floor in the bathhouse. Can I now not lay it? Yeah, I can't lay it on a stockpile. Or on the well. And while in theory I can lay it over the stairs, obviously that would be silly. Curiously, I do seem to be able to lay it on top of that microclimb block floor, but presumably that's not what I want to do. So I would have to, if I'm going to pave the whole area in porcelain, which seems like it's what I should be doing, I will need to remove bits of the soap stockpile, which is a bit faffy. So is someone going to come out and ride the newly reconfigured roller coaster? Probably, yes. Excellent. Right, well, let's watch the minecart as is traditional. Whee! And then it stops. Excellent. It gets pushed back up to the start again. And we go round again. Right, well, that appears to work as a kind of minimal non-fatal minecart. Minimal non-fatal roller coaster. It has a large hump at the beginning and a medium hump and a smaller hump part way round, and it's a closed loop. And it doesn't kill anyone. So, that's quite successful. We could probably do a better one, but I'm not sure I want to try doing that tonight. It's quite... Actually, let's turn it off and fix that thing that's made of the wrong kind of wood. Well, now I think we have some idea how to make what at least some of the requirements are for having a non-fatal roller coaster. I think one of the requirements is that each upward bit be large enough that it could consume most of the kinetic energy of the minecart. Obviously, if it consumes too much, then the minecart won't be able to make it up to the top. I think I still need to get a better handle on... There are no overhead clearances. Everything is completely open at the moment. As in, there are infinite overhead clearances. We're not even doing this under trees. No, that's no good. I have to ask to build 3 squares of track and then delete 2 of them, of course. Right. Is this a sensible... We could actually do a tunnel section roughly where we currently are. Well, yes, I think we'll try to enhance the roller coaster But I'm not, as I said, I'm a bit uncertain whether that's something I want to be doing now. On the other hand, I'm slightly worried that if I don't do it reasonably swiftly, all of the trees I cut down will get converted into barrels and used to store booze instead of being used to build roller coasters from. He says there's another 10 barrels are consumed with fruit-based booze. Aha, here we have someone who is not wearing enough clothes and whose gauntlet could really do with being melted down and recycled, because that is in a terrible state, but who is having a bath. I mean, she doesn't seem to mind that she has no shoes. Content after a soapy bath. Excellent. But I am going to suggest that your gauntlet be melted down and you should get a new one. Right, now all of the minecart track is in mundane wood and thus all the same colour. Why have we got that? That's a weird condition. What was going on there? So can I remove and then re-add squares in a stockpile, do you think? So I have a paint button. That just says I can add, oh no, there it is. Right, so I can erase, say, the bottom left square of that stockpile. So now that's not a stockpile. Then I can go build a floor there out of porcelain bricks. And then once that's built, we can put that square back into the stockpile and move one to the right and keep going. I mean, we could abolish where else is no, we can actually, I think, legitimately abolish like half of this stockpile and repave it and then put it back again. Because otherwise this is going to be tediously tedious. Right. So, we don't really need that track stop anymore. Its sole purpose was to get some water out of a couple of minecarts. I mean, dwarves do at least get satisfaction from pushing minecarts around. Even if nothing else happens. I think we should put a statue in that gap. Because then dwarves can admire it as they zoom past on the minecart. Not quite sure how that one got suspended. Again. So there's something weird about that mechanism. Or that bin, I suppose. But let's at least put the remaining squares back into the soap stockpile. I wonder why that one can't be completed. I mean, someone's now moved the mechanisms out of the way, which is probably good. Suspended again. Resume. There's now nothing on the square. So one might hope we could build some floor there now. Yes, right. Finally. Right, so now we can destockpile the other side. And floor that with porcelain. And then just checking that condition was correct, because no one seems to have been pushing that minecart for a little while. Okay, we do still seem to have slight problems of... is it that one that's been suspended again? Yes, the one that's... The floor that's next to the well seems to be particularly hard to build. They get round to it eventually, but... It's still making booze faster than we can drink it. Right, there we go. Now you can make those squares back into being part of the stockpile again. So now there's this weird thing that section of floor is made of microcline blocks rather than porcelain bricks. Can we? It looked like we might just be able to place a porcelain brick floor over the microcline blocks, which will save having to punch a hole in the floor first. Then really I think I want the walls of the bathhouse to also be porcelain, which will be a bit more work. And carries with it the slight danger that the goblins turn up in the middle, though to be fair the goblins have not yet been much of a problem. No one is pushing vehicles today, apparently. That's kind of weird. Go on, let's demolish parts of the bathhouse so that we can rebuild it in porcelain. Also correctly name that stockpile. What do you want now? Weapon racks. Oh, that's unusual. Oh dear. We have a dwarven child stumbling around obliviously. Storlutnish. Probably I can find them by just going here and sorting by happiness. Yes. Oops, no, that wasn't the button I meant. You are haggard, despite only being 7 years old. Right, this doesn't look like the experiences of someone who's having a bad time. I'm not really sure I can make your life much better. No, I mean, this looks like a reasonably happy and well-adjusted dwarf. Except that she is haggard and stumbling around obliviously. I mean, I could send her to a different fortress. But I'm not sure that would be entirely polite. One of the baby otters in the sea near our fortress has grown up. I'm pretty sure it's not a tame baby otter. No. Yes, the unhappy child is 7, which you might hope was old enough not to be randomly unhappy just because, but... Oh, right, most of that wall has now been demolished. Let's wait for the last bit and then we'll reconstruct the whole lot all at once. Oh, good! Someone was riding the roller coaster again. Will obviously be better once someone manages to lug a platinum statue up here. Here it comes. Right, so now we have an exceptional platinum statue that can be seen from the roller coaster, which I think will help in some sense. I mean, that does stop me doing a gratuitous figure 8 through that gap until we enhance the roller coaster a bit more. I mean, possibly one thing to try would be just putting in another hump and seeing if that works correctly. Pretty sure you can find a way to build that wall. I think you've just got confused. Admittedly, there do seem to be lots of people passing through that corner. Right, good. So now that wall is entirely made out of porcelain. Right, let's got rid of that weird message. Don't seem to be being interested near a fine statue, which is sad. More goods. You want querns? Querns are useless. We've already got a quern and it's more than enough quern for our purposes. The only use we have for querns is to crush, is to grind rock nuts to make oil to make soap, and we have plenty of soap now. All of my miners distracted and so not going to come and knock this wall down for me. That's a pain. Now wondering if there's a way I can build bits of roller coaster offline. So that I can do it while the roller coaster is still operational. I fear not, though. Well, let's. Oh no, it is after midnight. Maybe. I mean, I'd like to finish rebuilding this place, but my miners are being obstinately busy doing other things. Well, that cat successfully didn't get run down by a minecart. Well done, cat. Oh good, that bit of floor got finished, which means we can now make that floor part of the soap stockpile, which gives us a bit more space to store soap in. So let's just have a quick look around at other places. Right, there's our stock of limestone for making steel from. That seems to be quite happy. We don't seem to be trying to make steel bars because we're out of pig iron. When I find them make pig iron, we aren't making pig iron because we haven't got enough flux stone. Okay, so we do actually need, I think we should possibly, no, we need flux stone for lots of different purposes, don't we? So I think we need to mine yet more flux, which we've been doing down here. So I don't quite know where the petrified wood's going to be. Maybe I don't care much. And like in practice, we may as well mine that tetrahedrite actually, which will like give us a bit more visibility of what's going on down there. Right, that's at what I hope is a lower priority than demolishing this wall. Looks like someone's actually coming to demolish the wall, which is nice. Probably this person. Oops, that's a horse. And now that wall will get rebuilt. Right. Oh dear. I fear that this cat has not had a fun time. Both of her rear legs are injured. I think, though, that one of them's only bruised. dwarf comes out to clean up the blood. That was efficient. Can't have blood on the tracks. There we are. Cat blood removed. And conveniently, the cat got propelled off the tracks by the incident, and so is not getting repeatedly run down by a minecart. See, so there's even some measure of cat safety here, though not very much. Right. I think that we should call it a night for now. We've got a functional, if rather minimal, roller coaster, and we're slowly converting our bathhouse to be made of properly of porcelain, as it should be. So that, like, it has a tiled, well, at least porcelain block wall all the way round eventually, and a porcelain floor and a porcelain well with an artifact steel bucket. I'm not sure if I'm quite enthusiastic enough to rebuild all of the roof in porcelain as well, but I might have a go at that, especially since, like, we've already had to replace some of the roof. Well, not really the roof, but the floor around the roof is made of porcelain already because it's the wall. Right, that statue doesn't seem to be working usefully, but what's that? Ah, sea foam, yes. But I think that the things are in a useful state, and we still haven't managed to cause any trouble with the necromancer, even though we've demanded tribute from him. Or her, I can't remember, I don't even know who's there. So, well, we'll see whether we can find another thing to do next time. Maybe we actually send someone to go and demand that the necromancer surrender and see what happens. But until next time, which will be on Friday, I expect, I will say save now and say good night. Good night.